Alright guys, so Boruto episode 225. Now I believe I skipped episode 224 because to be honest, it wasn't my cup of tea. I'm just gonna say it. But this episode was really good and I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. I can't believe that we're at episode 225 of the Boruto anime, right? Like that's just crazy. Like it feels like it was just like 2 years ago that the anime started and now we're at 224 or 225 I believe, and that's just amazing, bro. And the reason why I'm thinking like this is because we have One Piece going at episode 1000. I think that was yesterday, and it just got me thinking like Boruto. Like we were watching Boruto. It's like it started like a few months ago or a few years ago. When we look at it, it actually started like what 5 to 7 years ago. It has been an ongoing and long running anime at this point. Would we consider it like new gen or mid gen? I think we would consider it would still be new gen, right? Even though it has about 5 years or 7 years. Like people put it in the same group as Jujutsu Kaisen and all those newer anime, but Boruto like has a lot of years on them, And I'm talking about anime alone, not the manga, because the manga is older, right? But just the anime, in that perspective. But yeah, like the anime has been going for a very long time. It has had a lot of ups and downs, trust me. Like I've made a lot of videos on the anime, my thoughts on it in the past. It has grown on me a lot now because I think they're putting like a lot of time into it now, a lot of effort into it. Not the amount of effort that I wish they would put into it, but they're doing a great job right now with certain episodes. So omit last episode. We're not talking about that. We won't mention that episode anymore. Like going further, like that episode is basically non-existent at this point. But this episode was really good, and I can't believe that I didn't notice that they used CGI in Boruto because after watching this episode, I actually watched it twice because something was really off. Not off in a bad way, but off as in different, right? Because I think I noticed that I think it was the Sarada scene when she used the Shidori. They actually used CGI in that scene, and I actually went on Twitter because I like to see what everyone thought about the episode to just like see what's going on and the general feeling for the episode. And someone mentioned that they actually used the CGI in the crying scene as well. That was the emotional scene for Cho Cho when she actually lost. So yeah, like the CGI was good because there's something different about it. Because if you look at the CGI in the Dragon Ball movie that's coming up, like it's different from this CGI in a way, because this CGI is CGI, but it looks a little more 2D, if you get what I'm saying. Like it is CGI, but not like the to the level that they're using it in the Dragon Ball movie. And that could be because of budget, but to be honest, I prefer this one over the one I saw in the Dragon Ball movie, because this one is actually like more closer to 2D animation, because it looked kind of 2D and it looked kind of 3D. It looked like CGI basically, but it just looked okay. It didn't look great because, to be honest, I'm a 2D kind of guy. To be honest, I just can't rock with the 3D animation thing. We have the Uzumaki anime coming up, and I'm gonna check it out. It is CGI. It looked awesome. At least those parts, the first few seconds of this the clip they showed us. But yeah, like in general, I'm not a fan of CGI used in anime, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the 3D look. I'm more of the 2D kind of guy, and I know it requires a lot of work, and it might be selfish of me, but yeah, I just feel like 2D is where anime should remain. 2D is what it should be. But as for Neverworld said, because I watched a video that he made a few days ago, they're trying to move it into like the 3D era, the CGI era of anime, and they're doing it because they want to like condition the minds of the new viewers to feel that 3D is the standard. Because when you condition the new viewers that 3D is the standard, then no one will want to watch 2D, and they'll still make buck, but they'll lose the old fans that really wanted 2D, right? But they're like catering to a newer market of people who are watching anime now, and they're trying to like instill in them like 3D is the standard and everyone should like accept it. So yeah, I think I agree with him to a certain extent, and yeah, that's kind of besides the point. This episode, yeah, back to the episode. This episode was really good. I loved where it started off. One thing I will say is that the scene with Shinki and Kawaki, I wasn't really sure what's going on there, to be honest. Maybe I missed something from one of the episodes, but like, what's the deal between the two of them? Why is Shinki interested in Kawaki? How does he even know about Kawaki? What does he know of Kawaki, And, when he left and he went to, had that little 1 minute battle with Kawaki and came back, the two other members, they're saying like, oh, you got to see him. So they knew who he was going to meet. But what is this interest in Kawaki? I'm not sure. Maybe it was something like that was said in a prior episode. But yeah, I'm just not like connecting the dots. So I'm not sure why he's interested in Kawaki or why he wants Kawaki to watch the battle. He just, it just never connected with me. But yeah, we saw Kawaki get thrown down. That was a little bit, yeah, man. Kawaki needs to like upgrade his arsenal at this point, because if you have Shinki just throwing you down like this, and if you go back to the original Chunin fight, like Cho Cho put up a better fight. Cho Cho put up a better fight against Shinki than Kawaki did, which is not good, trust me. But yeah, you can argue that Shinki has gotten way more powerful, but Kawaki could have done better. But I don't think he was in a fighting mode, to be honest. Like, I think he had this conflict in himself. I think Shinki kind of pointed it out, because he wasn't really interested in the fight, but he wanted to watch it, And it's kind of weird that Shinki like stared at him to the point where he had to walk away just for him to follow Kawaki and tell him to come back and watch the fight. Like, if you weren't staring at him in the first place, then he would have still been there watching the fight, It's kind of weird that you made this big deal about him watching the fight when he was already doing it, So that was kind of weird. But yeah, the fight itself was really good. So the starting of the fight, I believe that Sarada was playing with Cho Cho the entire fight, but at the starting of the fight, you can see that Sarada wasn't really taking it seriously. She was like, okay, I'm just gonna spar with my friend. If I win, then so be. That's what she saw when she basically analyzed the fight. And I think she thought she could win like easily. She wasn't really like training to beat Cho Cho specifically. I think she knows that she's above Cho Cho. I think Cho Cho knows that Sarada is above her. I think everyone knows that Sarada is above her. So really, this fight depended on Sarada's conviction at winning and defeating her best friend. And I think that's why they drove home this entire point about them being best friends. That's what this fight really, hanged on. Is Sarada really ready to defeat her best friend and take something from her? Because you have to remember that Cho Cho really wanted to win. And I'm sure Sarada wanted the best for her and wanted to make her happy. But at the same time, Sarada needs to focus on herself, and she also wants to win. So the kind of dilemma there, and it's kind of conflicting with her. But in the end of the fight, I think Cho Cho kind of pushed her a little bit, because Cho Cho was really serious and Sarada wasn't, as I said earlier. And when Cho Cho got her with that surprise punch and she got thinking about what Sasuke said to her about Boruto, that was a really interesting scene, because to be honest, when the anime does these emotional scenes about the characters, it's kind of a hit or miss for me, but this one was definitely a hit. Like, I felt the emotion that she was feeling, like Sarada was feeling after what Sasuke said to her, right? That she should be prepared to end Boruto. I'm not sure how she's gonna do that, logically speaking, but she's nonetheless prepared, and that's good. And she kind of applied that to Cho Cho's battle, right? So it's kind of the same situation. It's not really the same, like she needs to kill Cho Cho, like she's evil, be taken over by an Otsutsuki, but she needs to like set aside her feelings for her teammate to do what's best, which is her becoming a Chunin, right? Regardless of what happens to Cho Cho. So I think that was good. And yeah, like the fight itself was well animated, like the fight scenes were good. There was this brief hand-to-hand moment in the fight where it looks like they were even. I still think Sarada was holding back at this point, because you have to remember that Sarada has the Sharingan, so she should be able to predict Cho Cho's movement. Like if we go back to I think it was like the first half of Naruto, like the regular OG Naruto series, when Sasuke was fighting one-tailed Naruto in the Valley of the End, like we know the power of the Two-Tome Sharingan. Like he was able to read him to a certain extent before he went one-tailed, but he was still influenced by Kurama's chakra. And then when he went three tomes, like he was able to read like one-tailed Naruto's movements, and those movements were off the charts. Like that was nothing compared to what Cho Cho was doing in this episode. Like, well, I should rephrase that correctly. Like, what Cho Cho was doing in this episode is nothing compared to what Naruto, like one-tailed Naruto, was doing in that fight. So it's not like, Cho Cho is faster than one-tailed Naruto. Like, I'm not saying that. That's nonsense. So yeah, it's kind of weird that Sarada wasn't able to like read all of her movements like easily. So I would say that she was still holding back in that fight because she didn't want to really hurt Cho Cho that much. She didn't want to. She knew that she was going to win. That's a fact. But she didn't want to win too easily. She wanted Cho Cho to like do what she needed to do, go all out, use her butterfly mode, which she did do. And that's another thing I have, like, it's kind of weird how the Shidori works. Because remember, like, going back to the original Naruto series, like, it was stated that you should never use a Shidori or a Rasengan against your teammate or your fellow shinobi or comrade. But they're just using it now. And Cho Cho was, like, going head on against Sarada, who had a Shidori in her hand. Like, I don't know, like, if you guys know how dangerous the Shidori is. Like, that's a one-shot kill for anybody that doesn't have, like, superhuman regeneration. And Cho Cho doesn't. So Cho Cho, like, going ahead at Sarada, I'm like, how did she even cancel the Shidori? Like, did she do it with her bare fists? What happened to her hand? Like, what did the lightning do nothing to her? Like, I know that the butterfly mode actually boosts your like endurance, your speed, your strength. Does it boost your durability? Maybe, but to the extent that you're able to tank a Shidori, I'm not sure. Amped by a Sharingan, right? I'm not sure, but maybe she did use some chakra punch or something, but that was not illustrated. That was not shown. Like, if she had like put some like butterfly mist over her hand, then I would say maybe it protected her, but she used like her bare hand to punch the Shidori because their hands kind of collided. And nothing happened to her hand. Nothing happened to her. So what's happening here? Is it that Cho Cho is super durable, or is it that Sarada's Shidori was weak, or she didn't like put enough effort into it? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to speculate on that because it's kind of an iffy situation, But yeah, it's kind of weird that she even used the Shidori in the first place when it's a one-hit kill. And that Cho Cho survived it with literally no damage, just by punching it. So that was a little weird to me. But yeah, like, the fight ended. Right after that, they collided. Cho Cho, collapsed, whatever. They spoke about it, and you can feel the hurt. That's what I say. Like, they were able to convey the emotions of these characters like spectacularly in this episode. It was kind of like really good to see, because we know the Naruto series as a series that is really heavily based on the emotions of these characters, their internal conflicts, what they're feeling in the moment. So to see this kind of reflected so easily here, it was really great to watch. We had Cho Cho crying about losing the fight, which is a normal reaction for a teenager. Like, people are gonna say like, oh, she's crying, yada yada, she wanted Sarada to take pity on her. But I think Cho Cho knew from the start that Sarada was going to win. She just wanted to do her best. Like, she knows that Sarada is way more powerful or capable than her. She knows this. And Sarada knows this as well. Everyone knew this. So it was just like her just trying to get something in before the fight ended, or try to win in some other way other than overpowering Sarada, because she just can't do it. You get what I'm saying? So I think Cho Cho kind of understood that, which is why I think this fight went over that way for her. She actually cried in the end, which was a very emotional scene, to be honest. I kind of felt it, I felt it for her. So that's really good. We did actually follow up with Boruto and Amado's situation where Amado was captured. We actually got some information. Like, a lot of people were theorizing that he was actually working with these people, but we got some more information that they actually kidnapped him, and they're trying to get him to help them with some scientific ninja tools so that they could become powerful and all that lovely stuff. Amado refused, whether it's because Boruto was there and he knew that he was there, or because like he doesn't really care for helping anybody else. And we saw that Amado was going to use some sort of ability. Like, he was very confident that he could take these guys out, right? So a lot of people have theorized that Amado has great power, but he's hiding that power, suppressing that power. That could be possible. That thing that we saw slide down his leg could be just a ninja tool that uses sound waves. It looks very similar to something I saw on the Flash TV show, that uses sound waves and all that lovely stuff. But yeah, we're not going to see it because Boruto jumped in, he defeated the guys, they escaped, and they just left Amado there. It's kind of weird. Like, just think about it. Like, Amado is like he's not really a good guy. It's really just a compromise Naruto made to kind of help Shikamaru and Shikadai out and get information from him on Jigen and Ishiki. And he's just there, like he's not like a citizen of the Hidden Leaf Village. You know, he's not a good guy. He's just a compromise. So to know that they just have him wandering around with no supervision, they have people watching Kawaki and Boruto, but no one's watching Amado, the person that created all these beings that are so powerful, the person that helped Jigen and Ishiki. Like, they're just having him walking around like it's the Orochimaru situation on steroids. At least they have someone watching Orochimaru 24/7, but like no one is watching this dude. No one knew that he went missing. Like, he's just freelancing in the village. You know, that's kind of weird. And I don't know if I can mess with that. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. It feels like an oversight by the anime. It might be different in the manga. I think it is different, you know, because the manga is way ahead at this point. You know, like, we're finding code and all that lovely stuff. Like, we're getting like a little break in between the manga and the anime to kind of fill that gap again, to get the manga way ahead of the anime. That's what they're doing. So yeah. But the situation was really iffy in my opinion. I don't think he should be allowed to be like wandering around the village. You know, that's just my thoughts on it. But yeah, like, all in all, this episode was really good. We have Denki fighting as Samurai Girl next episode. I want to see his exoskeleton or whatever it's called, his Iron Man suit, how it like bodes well. But yeah, a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for Denki. I don't, to be honest. Like, yeah, he can create some ninja tech tools and all that lovely stuff, but some simple like rock style jutsu just crushes that metal thing, and it's just over for him. You know, it's plucked basically. If he wins this fight, I'm sorry, it's plucked. The girl should be able to like slice him up, dice him up. He has a lot of weak points on the suit, like he's exposed. So like, is she going to like directly like avoid those weak spots and target the suit itself? It remains to be seen. But yeah, that's a typical thing with people that wearing suits. Like, people just decide to like target the suit and not the part that's showing the skin. You know, it's kind of weird, even in like top high budget movies. So it's not like anime specific or Boruto specific, you know. But yeah, waited on the episode. This episode is really good. As I said, the CGI really surprised me. I never really saw that in Boruto before. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Is this like something that normally happens? But yeah, like, I love the fight scenes, I love the choreography, I love like the general feel and look of the episode. It was really, really well done. I'm looking forward to the next one. Hopefully we get to see Boruto and Mitsuki fight, because they're heading back to the Chunin exams. They have time because the other guys haven't started fighting as yet, and I'm sure they can get from where they are to the Hidden Leaf Village to the Chunin exams in time to like have their battle. And if these are the two guys that fight, remember I theorized in my video earlier that Boruto is going to fight Mitsuki. Since these two are going to fight, Denki and the Samurai Girl, then Boruto and Mitsuki are the only ones left to fight each other, right? So that'll be awesome. Can't wait to see Sage Mode if it happens. Karma stage 1, whatever he wants to use. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Sage Mode, and this month is looking really good for Boruto. I think the month has already ended, right? I think we're at the last week for Boruto. So 7 days from now, it will be the 28th. So we have one more episode in this month, and that will be dedicated to the Samurai Girls, to be honest. So I think we're gonna get Boruto versus Mitsuki in December. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think about the episode or thought about the episode. If you like the video, drop a like. If you have anything to say or dispute anything I've said, drop it in the comment section. I promise to reply to you guys when I have time. I'm gonna go into work today though, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.